Welcome back to Session 0, where I discuss Dungeon World every Wednesday. Today I'm going to run Brianne through the Garden, the dungeon I spoiled in yesterday's video. I'll start with a quick narrative review of last session, which was just a bridge to get me from Brianne's first solo session to the dungeon. I did the end of session move, which I forgot about at the end of the first session, getting 1 XP. Brianne healed up to 9 HP with poultices and herbs, and looking for a shortcut back to Isond, Brianne headed to the Garden, the codename for a smuggling tunnel into and out of the city, which she knew about because her father was a guild member. Here are the procedures which I didn't show in last week's video. If you haven't already gotten them from DriveThruRPG, I have a link for them in the description. With that, I'm going to go down to the camera and give a better demonstration of the rules. So Brianne knows about this dungeon and where it is because her father was a guild member. She's looking for the giant tree with the huge roots, and she'll find that and go ahead and enter the first common room here in this smuggling tunnel. So let's get the first common room. I need an ace through 10. If it's a face card, I'll discard it. Ace is good. Ace is good except for the fact that that's a club. I want to avoid clubs in this first column just because those are enemies. So she walks into this first common area. There's no natural lighting. There is still some lighting coming from outside, so she's not going to light a torch yet. But does this goblin flee? Yes, and, which is good. Yes, and monster. So I think these are two goblins that had fled earlier in session 1. And they see her coming in, and they're like, uh-oh. And they just take off. They're going to run past her out of the dungeon. They know that they have killed some of their friends. So they're just going to nope out of this situation. This is a Jack of Clubs. Because I'm not in a unique area right now, this Jack doesn't mean anything. So what's going to happen, this just gets discarded, and then that takes away the opportunity for some of those plot points. If all of my Jacks get discarded without use, that plot point will never come to be. And that's one of the things I really like about the randomness here with the plot points. They're not guaranteed to come up. You might get 4 of one plot point and only 1 of one of the others. You might not even get all 3 of the plot points. So that's kind of a really interesting bit of randomization, especially since they're not tied to any particular unique area. Next, let's go into the next common room. And I'm going to say I am kind of blowing through these common areas just to save some time. I will spend a little bit more time on each of the unique areas. The next is a king, but I need a common room, so that one will go away. 9 of clubs. More monsters. I don't like these monsters. This one, and actually, because of my space constraints, I'll put that one that way. So, 9 of clubs. Does this monster run away? No. And treasure. There are several crates in this room, some chests, and this goblin doesn't run away because he's digging through them. Now, Brianne doesn't have a torch, so this goblin probably doesn't even see her. What does Brianne do here? Does Brianne attack this goblin, or just ignore it and continue moving? Because I don't think the goblin is going to even notice her. So she's just going to keep moving. She's going to move on to the east. This is going to give us our first unique room. So I do need a unique room. Jack through king. Should I ever go through an entire deck, I'll just shuffle it up. So I do get a queen of diamonds. So this room has 3 meanings. I am going to, let's put it this way. 3 meanings here. It's my first unique room. So I know that there are 3 goblins here trying to open a door. It is a diamond, so I have to ask, has treasure already been discovered here? And it's a queen, so I get a plot point. I would describe, I haven't been moving Brianne here. I would describe that there are definitely more crates in this room than you've seen in some of the others. Maybe this was, kind of one of the final staging points before moving it out into the forest, or one of the first as you're moving it into the smuggling tunnel. I don't know the direction this cargo was traveling, but Brianne definitely sees a few boxes and crates that have Lady Anika's symbol on it. So that is an interesting plot point in this case. Also, I have these goblins trying to get through this door, and I have to ask if the treasure here has been discovered. No, it hasn't. But person, that's interesting. Is there a person here helping the goblins? Or maybe is there a person here fighting with the goblins? Maybe a guild member trying to prevent them from getting in. I think that's what it is. The treasure hasn't been discovered here because there's someone fighting off these goblins. If you'll remember when I first made this hex grid, as I was randomizing things, I also was taking notes on NPCs. And this particular NPC, this person is a curious cultist. So I don't think this is a guild member fighting with these goblins. This is a member of some cult curious about this smuggling tunnel. So he is fighting these goblins. Let me see. I'm going to pause it just for a moment while I think about this. I think this is maybe some type of wizard in training, and the scroll he carries is a scroll of fireball, and he's just going to blast all 3 of these goblins. What that means, though, is that's also going to maybe destroy whatever treasure was in this room. Now I get to have a little bit of role play with this cultist. Brianne's just going to tell him, all I'm trying to do is get back to Isond, and I know I can get there through this tunnel. Join me if you want. Take whatever you want. I have no affiliation with the Thieves Guild. I'm just trying to get to Isond. Does the curious cultist believe her? Maybe that's not the right word. Does the curious cultist go along with her? Yes. This demeanor is like, hey, that works for me. I know there's a lot of good stuff in here. Let's work together, try to get through this tunnel. Now we are going to move into our first common room on the second column. So I do need to draw a common room. I got a 10 of diamonds. Oh, I'm going to discard that one because I've seen it. That's not what's going to happen. Because I'm still faced with this stone wall with runes on it. That's the room number 1 here. Brianne knows the quote-unquote password for opening this door because her father has told her. But she doesn't know necessarily how to read these runes. So, let's do a spout lore and see if she can pull anything from her memory about runes, runic languages, and see if she can basically punch the correct, I'm doing air quotes, punch the correct password into this runic door. Well, that's a really bad start. That's a 5. Her intelligence is -1, so that's only a 4. I'm going to mark XP. She doesn't know. And maybe the move here, she's going to hear sounds back in this first room. Maybe, let's not say maybe. I hate saying maybe in these cases. She hears sounds in this room. This is at least one more goblin who has found this entrance and going to start making their way in. So, I'm going to say this is a point where the players are looking to the GM to see what's happening. I think because neither of these have light, because there is a little bit of light still filtering in from the outside, so neither of them have lit a torch. And they probably would not have even noticed this if they had torches. But what they both notice in this very dim light is that there are 3 runes on this rune wall that are very faintly glowing. So Brianne is going to say, okay, those are the ones I need to press, but I can't read them, so she's just going to take a random stab, see if she can get the combination correct. I'm just going to ask the Oracle, does she get the combination correct? No. No, and the noises she heard in this first room are getting closer. They may end up with a fight with some more goblins here in just a moment. Because that was the 6, I'm going to shuffle. So she tried that combination. Let's say there are only 3 more possible combinations. So she can fail 2 more times and then she will automatically get it on her 4th try. She tries a second combination. Does it work? Yes, the door does open with that second combination, but the noises from this room come into this room. This was a goblin entering and hearing, especially after hearing that big stone door opening, enters into this chamber with them. So now they have a goblin to fight. At this point, Brianne is going to, with her axe, point down to the ground to her charred, or to the charred goblins that the manor has blasted with a firebolt, and say, oh good, another one for us to obliterate. Is that going to scare this goblin away? And I think I'm going to do Defy Danger with Strength here, because this is more intimidation than strength, because she's so small. That's a 7. I do have to give a hard choice, hard bargain here. What do I say? I think I'll give a worse outcome here. This goblin runs away, but he's not going to run out. He's going to run into the smuggling tunnel, which means they may have to deal with that goblin again. Now, with this door open, I can go into the next common area. And if I was playing this and not recording this, I wouldn't change any of the map I already have, but because I'm trying to fit everything onto my camera, I will just move these around a little bit to give me more room. So now she is going to continue north into, she couldn't go south, I'm going to say, because the earthquake has destroyed this passageway. So this passage is full of rubble. The stone door was to the north, so they're going to travel north. I need a common room. 7 of diamonds. Now that's interesting too, because this is a seemingly closed room. I'm also going to go ahead and cross off those enemies and the yes and from the answer pool. So this room looks blocked off. Now I kind of hope when I flip this card it's going to be a spade, so I can naturally add a hidden thing. Otherwise I'm just going to, as the GM, have to kind of force a hidden thing here. But has this treasure been looted or discovered? No, and more treasure. I think this room is probably the staging area. This is where maybe one side of the wall has outgoing goods and the other side of the wall has incoming goods. So the ones on the west wall, they are headed out of the dungeon. The ones on the east wall are heading into Isond. So there is a lot of treasure here. And because it's through this stone door, none of these goblins have gotten in to disturb it. And I think this is kind of the jackpot that Demeanor is looking for. He's like, hey, you go on. This is what I'm here for. This is what I care about. You go to Isond. You do what you're going to do. Problem is, this is a closed room. So, she is going to... I'm going to put Demeanor off to the side just because I think he's going to be here. Brianne needs to look around the room, though. She is going to discern reality. She's going to take a lot of time scouring this room to see what she can find. That is discern realities. I do have a -1 to wisdom. That -1 screwed me so hard there, because that only gives me a 6. I will mark an XP. Make that a little clearer. I just kind of scribbled that. We'll mark an XP. She does not find anything. And I think, I should say anything that's going to help her get out of this room. I think kind of despondent, she's like, I know that I can get to Isond through here. And she's thinking maybe this exit here that's closed off was the way. So she's just going to... This is me making a move that's actually going to help the players, because they're looking to me to see what happens next. Brianne is just going to kind of despondently go to sit down and prop herself up against this wall and think about what's going on. And she's going to fall through the wall, because that wall was illusory. I don't even think Demeanor saw this happen. He is going through crates, getting everything he can. She's going to fall through that wall and realize, oh, fake wall, very clever. I do want to look through my discard pile too. I've got 2 jacks. Did I have another jack? 3. 3 of my jacks are gone, which means I only have 1 more chance to get that jack plot point. I really like the idea of this ghost who could have followed them. If there were 4 jacks laid out in unique rooms, this would have been the ghost following them through this dungeon. But I only have 1 more chance to get a jack on a plot point, unless I have to shuffle the deck. So this was the first room of this column. Having fallen through the door, she's going to go north. And this is part of that illusory wall. She is able to get through there. Mark off another common room. Has this hidden thing been discovered? Yes, it has. But more hidden things. I believe the hidden thing in this area is a pit trap on one of these squares. And in the kind of chaos of evacuation, one of the thieves tripped it and went into that pit trap, and it has now died. However, because there are more hidden things, I believe that means there are more pit traps in here. So, skipped over this one, came running through, went to skip over the next one, but maybe their heel caught on it and fell back in. So I think there are 2 more pit traps, one on either side of this corridor. Brianne's going to jump over the first. I think she's going to continue east. Now, does she just continue, or does she look? I think 2 things have to happen right now. Number 1, it is dark at this point. So she's going to have to light a torch. She's going to get some torches out of her adventuring gear and light one. So she does have a torch for some light right now. And I think because had this not been a T intersection, I wouldn't have even done this. But she's going to hold her torch out, looking in either direction, listening in either direction, looking around at everything to see what she notices. So that's going to be to discern realities. 3, 8 minus 1 is 7. So she does get to ask one question. She's gonna ask, what do I need to be on the lookout for? GM is going to tell her, well, that pit trap that you saw a moment ago probably isn't the only one. And as you look at the tiles, you can see some discoloration, and you know that there's another pit trap in either direction of this T intersection. So she's going to go, oh, good to know. She's going to jump over that colored spot, this colored spot. And now she can move into the next common area. So what is to the east here? Slide this 10 under this way. 10 of hearts. There's a person in here. Is this person still alive? No, they are not. But hidden things. I think this is a room that really got damaged in the earthquake. This person that is not alive is covered in rubble. And each of these entrances are clogged in rubble. I think the hidden thing here is that this exit looks clogged with rubble as well, but she could probably get through it. I think this means she's going to need to discern realities again. She's looking. She only gets a 3. She doesn't find anything. And as GM, I think I'm going to show signs of an approach. She's going to hear from this direction the squeaking of rats, because those are the common area enemies in this column, which is going to cause her to look a little bit closer. And there's a way that I used a GM move which did a thing. There are going to be rats in here now, no matter what happens, but also help the player a bit. Because that squeaking led her to come back over here to this exit and see, oh, it is small, I really can get through there. She's going to continue to this area. 2. 2 of clubs. And that's good because I put rats in here and now I don't have to add more rats. She comes into here. There are D6 rats. There are 4 rats in this room. Now, it was a club, so I'm going to ask, do they flee? I still have a yes but chance. Yes but is still part of the answer pool. And I get a yes but. Thank you. These rats do flee, but... Ooh, I'm losing some kings too. These rats do flee, but treasure. Now, treasure can mean a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily need to mean jewels and gold and coins, etc. Treasure could be something that is just really valuable to you. So I'm going to stop for just a moment and think about what this means. Yes, these rats do flee, but treasure. I'll come back in just a moment. So I think what we see here, work off that last common room. I think these rats were eating a corpse of a thief who was trying to escape during the earthquake. And the sudden light is what chased them away. But this thief did have a chest they were carrying. So she's just going to look down, look at what this has. This thief has a staff, which could be magical, it could be mundane, she doesn't know. But he was carrying a staff out of the dungeon. So I'm going to save this one aside. She's going to pick up that staff. Now we're going to go into the second unique room. This has to be a jack, queen, or king. Really hope it's a jack. I want that plot point. It's another queen. Couple things. I know in this room that it is full of paintings, statues, icons, etc. I might be able to find a pouch with some coin in it. This is also my second queen. So this tells me among these boxes, there are boxes with Lady Anika's symbol on them, and one of them very definitely was custom built to hold and secure a large book. Now, is this the Codex Arcanus, which Lady Anika sent Brianne to find? Is Brianne just a pawn, and maybe this book was already coming to Lady Anika? It's an interesting plot point. I don't know yet. Hidden things. Hidden things tells me there are traps here, though. Has this hidden thing already been discovered? Yes, if it was a trap, it's already been tripped. But there are lots of hidden things in here. There are lots of traps. This is an important chamber for holding. And pretty much everything is trapped. So she needs to carefully look around. See if if she can find that pouch of coin. I want to see if she can grab that. Now, there are lots of hidden things in here, so if she fails to find the coin on a discern realities, I should say if she gets a 6-, which is likely, she's going to set off a trap. So it's almost defy dangers, but I'm going to do discern realities. Oh, that's good. I do have a -1 whiz, so it's only a 5. I only need a 2 or better. Oh, and if I didn't have that -1 whiz, it would have been a 10. That is a 9, though. So I do get to ask one question. What here is valuable to me? She's going to find that pouch with 3 coin. Camera's shaking because I'm writing that down. She has also learned something. This box was probably, with Lady Anika's name on it, probably carried the Arcane Arcanus, or the Codex Arcanus, at one point. Now, was that Codex going out of the dungeon, or was it going into Isond? That's really a question we need to maybe not discover right now, but it's an interesting plot point to write down, to remember. Remember that Brianne did notice the box that probably held the Codex Arcanus. So I'm not going to actually pick these cards up yet, because I'm going to move north. Remember earlier, I did draw 6 there, so I can shuffle. Remember earlier I said that this passageway was blocked off. I'm going to travel north just to see what the other side of that corridor looked like. So this will be the first common room in the next column, and it is a 9 of spades. So I'm actually going to put it this way. So this tunnel to the west is blocked off with rubble. It is a 9 of spades. Before I ask that question, I'm going to cross off this first common area. I'm going to mark off those enemies, and I'm going to mark off yes, but. Going forward, traps will not have been discovered because yeses are no longer in the answer pool. People I find will be dead, enemies will not flee, treasure in rooms will not have been discovered. Now, because I just wanted to show what would happen, because I'd already said this entrance was blocked off, I am going to rearrange the cards just to save some room on my table. So now we'll ask, and I can't get a yes answer. Have the hidden things here been discovered? Yes and is not valid. No, the hidden things have not been discovered, and there's a dead person because of some of these hidden things. Maybe it's not because of the hidden things. Maybe it was because of the earthquake. Person right here, you can just see his feet sticking out of this because this part of the tunnel collapsed as he was running in that direction. So there is a dead person right at that intersection, or going into that tunnel. But now hidden things have not been discovered, so she has to be really careful as she goes through. She's going to discern realities, look around, carefully see what she sees, what she can see. It's 5, 7, her -1 wisdom hurts her again. That's only a 6. I'm going to mark XP, and she just doesn't see it. She's going to hit a pressure plate as she is heading to the east. And as she does that, I think maybe an alarm sounds out, a magical alarm. That's what this particular trap did. Magical alarm, it's very loud, and I think this is going to attract some of these rats, because coming up, the common area in this, or the common enemy in this column is rats. I think she's going to be met by a rat right here, no matter what happens. What do I draw? So let's go to the next common room. I can't use that. Now my kings are almost gone. I'm losing that plot point too. Now this is a problem that happens with this deck, depending on how you put these out. I'm just going to put this card like this. I hate doing that. Like this. And this passageway just continues all the way through. There is a hidden thing in here that hasn't been discovered. But maybe there's no way out of this room, and she's going to have to come back around. Has the hidden thing been discovered? No, but I'm not even going to flip another card. I know that there's a giant rat in this room that's probably asleep, but heard this alarm go off and is going to just immediately take a bite, take an attack on Brianne as she enters this room, because that alarm woke him up. He's angry. My giant rat has D6 plus 2 bite. 3 plus 2 is 5. 2 of that's going to come off because of her armor. She takes 3 damage, going down to 6. Ow, she squeals in pain. She pulls out her axe and just tries to come down on this giant rat. This giant rat is not as large as her, but is as large as a small dog. Hack and slash. 4 plus 2 is only 6. She's going to mark another XP. As she swings down on this, it's just too fast. It darts out of the way. Going to take one more bite at her. It's a D6 plus 2. 3 plus 2, she's going to take 3 more damage, taking her down to 3. I think she's just going to run. She's going to take off back into this room. She has, through this combat, seeing that this room is kind of a dead end, she's going to move there. Now, I do have rules for what happens when you move into a room you've already been into. I'm going to flip a card, and I only care about a club. If that had been a club, I would have asked a follow-up question. But it was not. She's going to move south back into this unique room. Is there an enemy? There is an enemy. Or there could be an enemy. Is there an enemy here? No. And I should note as well, when you're asking this question, because this is a different move, this is the move for when you move into an area you've been, it has its own answer pool. Yes and no are the only things that matter when you're making this move. And whatever you've crossed off in your answer pool is irrelevant. Yes and no are your answers when you're doing this move. Let's move into another common room. 5 of hearts. And I think, yeah, let's do it this way. I already know this person is not going to be alive. Might have been if I wasn't so deep in the dungeon. No. No, this person is not alive. But there's a monster here gnawing on it. There is a giant rat eating this person. I think she really has no want to be fighting this giant rat. First thing she's going to do, she's going to chug a potion. She's going to use one of her healing potions. It's going to take her back to 11. Next, she's just going to run south. Let this rat eat this person. She does not care. She's trying to get out. She's going to travel south. Get a nice little T intersection. Has treasure here been discovered? No. And, oh, another giant rat. I'm going to move this up a bit just so you can see that that's a T intersection. Another giant rat here, and this giant rat isn't occupied by eating a corpse. So this is going to be a fight. As soon as she sees it, she grabs her axe, takes a swing down on it. 4, 5, she misses. This rat is just so fast. Like another XP. She's going to be able to level up if she gets to a point where she can rest. This rat's going to take a bite at her. She's back to 11. Another 3 damage. These giant rats are not fooling around. Takes her down to 8. She's going to take one more swing. If this swing misses, she's just taking off. The swing is most likely going to miss. I need a 6 for it to hit. I get a 5, so close. Another XP and another attack. Ooh. This one, she bit into his leg. She's going to take 6 damage from this, because that's a D6 plus 2 bite. She's down to 2. Could this be the end of Brianne? She is not waiting around. She's going to continue east. Is this person dead? We know it will be dead. Or we know it will not be alive. No. But rat, another giant rat in this room. And this one that was in this T intersection, he's probably following. Gonna be right on her heels. She can't take the chance. She's going to continue. She's going to run north into a blocked room with a dead person. She went the wrong way. She should have run west here. Is this person alive? I think I know the answer. The answer is going to be no. No, but is good here, because but mitigates. No, but the rat that's there is only concerned with eating the dead person here. The problem is, there are rats stacked up against her. I'm going to say, at this point, this rat has joined this rat. So there are 2 giant rats in this room. There's 1 giant rat in this room, but it is concerned with eating this corpse. She's going to go back south. And there's going to be another rat. Well, there could be another rat. Yes, there is another rat. There are 3 giant rats in this room. She has to drink her last potion. Before these things get an attack on her, she drinks that potion. Last healing potion, taking her back up to 11. All 3 of these are going to get a bite. What I'm going to do, I'm going to roll my D6 plus 2 and add 2 more, because there are a total of 3 rats here. That's 10. 10 damage minus 2 is 8. She's back down to 3. These rats are not going to let her get out. She's going to run. These aren't going to immediately follow her. I'm going to wait and see what happens here. What's the next common room? 2, we can say that at this point, because this is overlapping, maybe this tunnel has been slowly going up. Has the hidden thing here been discovered? No, and if this is a club, no and person. This person in this room may have saved her. Because the person in this room is not moving, which means those rats are going to stop to eat that corpse. I am at my last... Well, that was the last common room before a unique room. I may not even have any unique cards left in here, although there is still a jack left in these 4 cards. So hopefully I can get my ghost. In that room, I know that there is a wizard fighting or controlling, attempting to control an earth elemental. Let's move into that north room. Move to the north. I need face card. Oh, and I get the queen. I really wanted a jack. What's going to happen here is this jack is going to end up being a card other than a unique room. But I'm also going to get to shuffle at some point. So I still have a chance for jacks. She comes into this room. There is a dead person. I think there's a lot of dead people in this room. Also, lots and lots of more crates with Lady Anika's name. That has actually ended up being a really important plot point because every one of my unique rooms thus far have been a queen. Lots of crates with Lady Anika's name on it. She enters this room. Is this person alive? I know it's not. Oops. No but. I'm going to get some mitigation. No but. And there's the jack I really wanted. No but because of triggered hidden things. There are some dead people from the earthquake. There are some dead people who have fallen into traps or triggered traps. Maybe in the, again, the chaos of trying to escape. But now I'm in this room where a wizard is fighting an earth elemental. I'm going to say these rats have followed, but they found this corpse. They're munching on this corpse. They're no longer going to be a problem. This wizard yells out to Brianne, I need your help. If we can get him out of this dungeon, we can revitalize the dungeon. We can fix it and put it back. Brianne doesn't give a single expletive about this tunnel. She only wants to get to Isond. She's evil. She's selfish. She just looks at this wizard and keeps going. Gonna go east. I'm gonna do one more common room and then actually I only have 2 cards, so I can probably only do one more common room. And then I'm going to stop today's video and finish up tomorrow. Tomorrow you will get the conclusion to this dungeon, getting through the final rooms in this dungeon. But for now, she's going to travel east. Just a nice little corridor. Have the hidden things here been discovered? Before I answer that question, and I know that was a yes, but I'm going to mark these off. The no but is gone means no's are now no longer mitigated. No's are amplified. And amplifies but mitigates. The buts are now gone. So I'm only going to get no's that are amplified. And at this point, I probably I didn't think about that earlier. I don't need to draw. The only answer I can get is no and. Have the hidden things been discovered? No. And because that no and is amplified, whatever treasure that was in here has been looted or destroyed as well. So that's where I'm going to pick it up tomorrow. Tomorrow we will start at the Ace of Spades. I have run through my entire deck, which means I can shuffle up. I'll go ahead and shuffle my Oracle deck as well, and that's where we'll start tomorrow, here at the Ace of Spades.